Cicilline from Rhode Island.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Secretary, for your extraordinary service to our country that has earned you the deep respect and admiration of people all over the world and has enhanced America's standing all over the globe. Your leadership on women's issues, LGBT equality, supporting emerging democracies, and enhancing American national security are too numerous to list. But I want to begin by thanking you for all of your hard work and everything you have done in service of our country. Thank you also for your testimony today. The terrorist attacks on September 11th in Benghazi, Libya, resulted in the tragic deaths of Ambassador Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Len Darty. And these are constant reminders of the dangerous work that our diplomats engage in every single day all throughout the world. And while we cannot eliminate all risks, it's our duty to enact protocols and policies that will reduce these risks and to provide all the resources and support necessary to help mitigate and manage those risks. With that in mind, I hope we'll consider the Accountability Review Board, which you, Madam Secretary, convened, and it calls for, and I quote, a more serious and sustained commitment from Congress to support State Department needs, end quote. This is particularly important given the implications that the looming sequester as well as potential government shutdown would have on our diplomatic security, especially in high-risk posts. I also want to take a moment to commend and thank Admiral Mullen and Ambassador Pickering for the comprehensive and prompt review that they conducted, and of course applaud you, Madam Secretary, for the adoption of all 29 ARB recommendations and for promptly undertaking their implementation and providing guidance on the status of that implementation here today. And just to say, there's been some discussion about the importance of getting to the nitty-gritty and fixing problems, and I hope that we will rely on the security professionals and the expert advice and recommendations of the ARB. I think they're much more likely to produce the best response to what needs to be undertaken. And so I want to ask you, Madam Secretary, I know one of the things that you did was to, actually in anticipation of some of the recommendations, you created for the first time ever a diplomatic security Deputy Assistant Secretary. And I think with respect to the ARB report, the importance of examining the State Department's organization and management as it relates to security planning, my expectation is that that would be one of the responsibilities of this new position. And I'm wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about the role of this new secretary within the Bureau, what responsibilities the position will have, and will this individual in particular have the authority to reallocate resources in order to fill potential resource gaps if that's one of the challenges you face?
Well, thank you, Congressman. This is a Deputy Assistant Secretary for high-threat posts. I want one person held accountable, looking at these high-threat posts, talking to our military and intelligence partners, being a voice, not just for all 275 posts, but really zeroing in on a real-time, constant evaluation about what our high-threat posts need. But in addition to that, we're going to continue our work with the Defense Department and the interagency security assessment threats. I'm also, for the first time, elevating a lot of these security issues for high-threat posts to the secretarial level because it hasn't been there before, and I think given what we've experienced, it needs to be. We're also looking for the transfer authority to add to our Marine security guards, our construction, and our diplomatic security. We're enhancing the training for everyone. We're taking a hard look at another problem that the ARB pointed out, and that was our temporary duty assignments. You know, very often, given especially the experiences we've had in Iraq and Afghanistan, and to a lesser extent in some other large posts, we have a lot of our most experienced diplomatic security people going there. I mean, in the 2 times we've had serious assaults on our embassy in Kabul. Kabul is fortified. Kabul has the ISAF troops across the street. As they draw down, we have to recognize that the danger is not going to leave with our ISAF military. So we have to take a hard look at all of this, and we have to embed that responsibility in this new experienced Deputy Assistant Secretary to do that.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Matt Salmon of Arizona.